corner. Pull up a chair, leave the mask at the door. We talk about the things they hide. Real talk, real life, nothing bright side. It's the unforgettable, yeah. Remember the name, oh yeah. We talk about topics, we say what we mean. No games, we keep it real and raw. Let the truth come through. Judgment free zone, judgment free zone. This space is for you. Come get comfortable, relax, get loose. Kick off your day, shake off that bruise. Welcome to the unfiltered corner. It's true. The unforgettables here. I'm riding with you. The unforgettables here. And we're riding with you. Yo, this is your host, the Unforgettable. Welcome to the Unfiltered Corner. What's up, my peoples? Good evening. Listen, I'm doing a late live, you guys. I never do late lives. I do early shows and stuff like that, and this was not planned. But I want to have conversation about this Karmelo Anthony case, just real quick. If you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to like. Thank you for coming across my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys. Again, I am your host, the Unforgettable. Welcome to the Unfiltered Corner. I never go late on my show at this time, but I don't know. I want to talk about this Karmelo Anthony case, you guys. Let's have some conversation, you guys. Give me 1 minute, you guys. Give me a minute. Hold on a second, you guys. We're going to talk about the Karmelo Anthony case because, this shit's wild. The whole thing is wild. Let me make sure you guys can hear me on my live. Make sure my sound's good. On my live. Yep. Make sure my sound's great. Okay, good. Wonderful. All right, hold on, you guys. Let me share my link for a few people. They want to come join me, you guys. But anyways, let me send to a few of my people if they want to come on and come check it out. They can. If not, it's all right. I understand. They'll watch on replay, you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to have an interesting topic. It's not going to be that long, this show. We're just going to talk real quick about the Karmelo Anthony case. I'm going to kind of talk about it a little bit. Because I don't see many people talking about that case. That shit was wild. It was wild. But yeah, you guys. Hello. Good evening. All right. So, I don't know how many of y'all haven't heard about the Karmelo case, the Karmelo Anthony case, which happened in Texas, as you guys all know. It was a boy. Hi, how are you, Anil? Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe, you guys. We're going to talk about the Karmelo Anthony case, you guys, just a little bit. I never go live at this time, but I've been just kind of taken back with all the chaos that's been going on online, on social media, in person after that verdict was read, you guys. It was wild. If you guys haven't yet heard about the Karmelo Anthony case, back in April of 2025, Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony had a confrontation inside one of the meat tents. And the meat was for, I guess, Austin Metcalf's team or whatever, and Karmelo Anthony was invited by somebody that was in there. And there was a confrontation. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe, you guys. Hi, how are you at Snowshoe? And they had a confrontation. And I guess from the confrontation, it ended up to be, Karmelo Anthony ended up stabbing this boy in the chest. And that shit was wild, okay, you guys? And we're going to talk about that today. I've been seeing a lot of controversy. A lot of people are very upset. A lot of people are upset about the verdict. Lots of people are upset. This has happened in Frisco, Texas, right? And as you guys all know, no, it's not a dark room. I'm in my vehicle, you guys. This is my thinking capsule, you guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, my thinking capsule, you guys. I'm sorry. This is why I like to do my lives, you guys. I usually do them in my car. Go check out my other lives. He was sentenced. Karmelo Anthony was sentenced to 35 years in prison, with a possibility of parole after serving half of that time. Now, if you guys don't know, in that state, when you commit a crime like that at the age of 17, although here you're still a minor, they charge you as an adult at the age of 17 in that state. That's just the way it works, you guys, which is nuts. Okay. um so we're gonna get into the mix of things. And so it happened in Frisco, Texas, you guys, right? You should honestly have more viewers. Thank you, Salmon. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. People don't catch me sometimes on live. They'll just come and watch on replay, which I'm cool with that too. It happened at a track meet at a high school, right? Back in April of 2025, you guys. And it happened in Frisco, Texas. And they say that witnesses testified that Anthony, then at that time that happened, that occurred, he was 17, sat under a team tent belonging to the Metcalf school, which is Metcalf's, they're twins, right? Which was Austin and his brother. And I guess Austin asked him to leave, right? But it was said that Karmelo was invited by another person that was in that tent, you guys. A confrontation started between both of them, okay? And ended with Anthony stabbing Austin in his chest with a folding knife at that, all right, you guys? And so, Karmelo Anthony's defense said that it was all in self-defense, okay? Because he was being physically confronted. Hi, Toxic Game. How are you? I've been here. I've just been very busy. I've been working, have lots going on, you guys. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. But the jury, they rejected those claims, right? Because that would have been an argument that would have reduced the maximum sentence, right? And so on June 10th, Anthony was transferred to the Wallace Pack unit near Navasota, Texas. That's where he's at. Okay, you guys? To begin his sentence. Because he was sentenced to 35 years. And there's a possibility of parole after serving half of that, you guys. It's insanity, okay? His attorneys, though, filed an appeal, a notice of appeal, immediately, right after the verdict. And the appeal may focus on potential legal errors, according to the defense, right? Including the jury selection. That's where the controversy is happening online. And right after the verdict was read, there was a lot of controversy, a lot of craziness going out outside the courtroom, you guys. A lot of supporters of Karmelo Anthony, you guys. And the reason is that they have a problem with the jury selection is because they claim that there was not one black person selected for jury during his trial. They're claiming that it was biased. I wasn't here for long, but this is low-key interesting. Thank you. I appreciate you. People claiming that it was biased, and even the defense is claiming it's biased. Meaning bias, if you guys don't know what bias means, is like it's more to one side than the other. Like they have preference to one side than the other. And they feel like it was an unfair trial because of that, because everybody on the jury was Caucasian, white. And lots of people, this has sparked lots of controversy on all social media platforms. It has sparked just outrage throughout the nation. And also, it has caused the Metcalf family to receive death threats and harassment and a lot of issues, you guys. Um, let's keep something clear, you guys, right? I totally get it. This is fucking insanity, right? We do live in a world, right, that there is racism. We do live in a world like that. Okay, I'm going to sleep now. Bye. Good night. Good night, Simon. We do live in a world that exists. People can't be acting blind to it, right? There is racism in our world, right? We got to keep it 100% real. But sometimes race is not what causes you to have consequences, right? But I get the other side's point. Like, how did he get a fair trial if there was an all white? And you know what's the crazy thing, you guys? The jury is selected by the defense and the prosecution. So, but the defense worked in agreement with the prosecution for their jury selection. And lots of possible jurors. He brought a knife to attract me and stabbed him in the heart. Yeah, absolutely. It's sad. I totally agree. That's what I'm saying. People are basing it on race, but they're not seeing the action. What he did. He took, well, you know what I'm saying? Let me put it to you like this. People carry pocket knives a lot. I've seen it. But my question is, was it necessary to take out a pocket knife and stab somebody else? You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, these kids in this generation, like, they just want to be using weapons. They don't want to be fighting, if it's, fighting fair. They don't want to punch each other. They don't want to smack each other. They don't want none of that. They go straight to a weapon. People are not seeing. They're seeing, okay, this was a biased decision. There was all white people on the jury. He was a black boy. This was a white boy. This is in Texas. This is the way people are seeing it. This is the spark controversy online. But people are not seeing the big picture here. They're not seeing the fact that this boy, although we get he was probably having issues with this kid under that tent, why did he pull out a knife and stab this kid in the chest? There are consequences to those things, you guys. This is what people are failing to see. He murdered somebody. And not only did witnesses from the prosecution, right, testify to these events, but also witnesses to the defense. Witnesses that were supposed to be for Karmelo Anthony. Some of their testimony benefited the prosecution. A lot of people were saying that Karmelo Anthony was the aggressor. And I totally get, yes, we live in a racist nation or whatever. Sometimes people get unfair trials, but people are really missing the bigger picture here. He stabbed the kid in the heart and killed him. Now, my question is to the public, right? If it were your loved one, right? If it was an African boy or African American boy that got stabbed by a white boy, right? In the chest like that and murdered like that, would the outrage be the same? Is the question. Would you be just as outraged? Like, what is going on here? Like, would you be thinking the same? Like, people need to understand. Like, you need to put yourself in these parents' shoes, in this family's shoes. Not only did Karmelo Anthony lose his life, basically, because 35 years is a very long time, okay? Very long time. But this family lost their child, too. And people are not seeing this. A lot of the people that are upset online and, this outrage that's online are not seeing the pain this family's going through. They lost their child to being stabbed. I get an argument between teen boys and pushing each other, but for somebody to pull out a knife and stab another person and kill them, you get what I'm saying? And then as soon as, he gets convicted, right, of the crime, and he gets sentenced, whatever, and he goes to trial, and the jury deliberated within 3 hours, under 3 hours. As soon as he's sentenced, everybody's outraged saying it was due to race. Why are people saying it's due to race, though? I'm not understanding. Because if it would have been a white boy that stabbed a black boy, you guys would want him to do life in prison. And that's me. And I'm a Hispanic. And I have friends that are black. I have friends that are white. I have friends that are Asian. I have friends that, from all type of nationalities. But like, would these people that are already think the same if it was the black boy that got stabbed in the chest like that and murdered? They would be outraged. They would be out there in the courthouse making sure, yelling, justice be served, and that this boy, let's say if Austin was the one that stabbed Karmelo Anthony, they would be saying Austin needs to do life in prison and pay the consequences. This is what people are failing to see. He committed a crime. And now there's consequences to crimes. What mindset did he have to be doing this type of shit? You know what I'm saying? To stab a boy in the chest like that. Because I've seen plenty of people, right, that argue. I've gotten into plenty of arguments. I've gotten into plenty of confrontations before. But we have to see here, like, that's what you got your fist for. Somebody pushes you, put their hands on you, you defend yourself. What's the need? This generation of kids are all using weapons. What's the need of pulling out a knife and taking somebody else's life over a disagreement or just being upset about something so minimal? You guys, look at the reason as to why one kid's life ended and the other one's sitting in jail for the next 35 years and with possibility of parole after serving half that. Hi, how are you, Axe? Don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe, you guys. Like, the difference here is the parents of Karmelo Anthony get to see Karmelo Anthony in jail. They get to see him. He's alive and breathing, although he's sitting in a jail cell, right? But the other parents have to visit their child at a gravesite. And I'm telling you guys, I've been scrolling through Twitter. I've been scrolling through Instagram. I've been scrolling through Facebook. And all over social media, you guys, all I've seen is outrage for the fact that Karmelo Anthony was sentenced to 35 years for the death of that boy. And people are very upset. You cannot be upset for somebody to receive consequences for their actions. See, I would have understood, right? If jumping in to say hi. Hi, Natalie. How are you, honey? You know, I would understand. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, people. I would understand if Austin, right, was to pull out a weapon and Karmelo Anthony pulled out a weapon out of self-defense. That's different. But the other kid shoved him with hands, pushed him. And it's not like multiple boys in there, in that track meet, were pushing Karmelo Anthony around. No. And he had his hand in the book bag, according to testimony, you guys, in the book bag the whole time, threatening, if you touch me, watch what's going to happen. My allergies got me in bed. I'm here, but listening. It's what, oh, baby girl, I hope you feel so much better. These allergies are like killing everybody. Trust me, I've been like stressed with like barely sleeping. Mr. Unforgettable has been sick for 2 days. I took care of him all day. Plus I went to work. Like, it's been crazy. And no sleep because I've been up with him all night for the past 2 nights. So I totally get it, baby girl. Hi, Vinny. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. So I would understand Karmelo's perspective of trying self-defense if multiple boys under that tent. And not even. Like, he can claim self-defense if multiple people were attacking him. Or if Austin pulled out a weapon. But it wasn't like that. It was a shove. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Natalie. I hope you feel better. You took medicine? But it was a shove. The other kid shoved him. And he pulled out a knife. And he's threatening. So he already knows he has that in his book bag. And he has his hand in his book bag. So he's probably in his mind, it's going through his brain what he's going to do to this kid. Because you already have your hand on the weapon inside the book bag. Everybody's making it about race. Hi, Leslie. How are you? Much love, baby girl. Everybody's making it about race on social media. It's not about race. We need to fucking see the bigger picture. He committed murder. He murdered this boy. And you can kind of say it's a little bit premeditated because you already have your hand in that book bag ready to use that weapon when there's no need for it. So you got shoved, you got upset, and you stabbed the kid. And you ended his life and then ended yours because now you're sitting in a jail cell for 35 years. That's heartbreaking. Heartbreaking for both sides of the family. Because one parent has to visit their child in a gravesite, and the other parents need to visit their child behind a glass. In life, we got to teach our kids. We cannot make everything about race. People are complaining this case to the Grayson Allison case. No, you cannot compare it to that case. It's ridiculous. How you doing making changes? It's ridiculous. He committed a crime. What did they want the jury to do? It was on video. And whatever he was saying didn't match what the video showed that was shown to the jury, you guys. There was video of it. You get what I'm saying? There was video showing exactly what happened. You know what I'm saying? It's insanity. And you guys, they didn't allow cameras in the courtroom for that, okay? And they had testimony. You know what's the fucked up part and the crazy part? Not only did they have testimony from the prosecution, like I said earlier, but the defense had witnesses that benefited the prosecution. It benefited them. Most of the people that testified said that Karmelo Anthony was the aggressor. How are you going to sit here as grown adults, because it's mostly adults that are having these temper tantrums on social media and having a meltdown over the Karmelo Anthony case because he got sentenced to 35 years and saying it's unfair? People, listen up. If it were your child that was murdered, you would be singing a different tune. You wouldn't be saying the same thing. You would be requesting that the maximum sentence be given to the boy that stabbed your son, whether he be white, Asian, black, whatever color on the rainbow, whatever color, whatever sex, whoever murdered your child, you're going to want maximum sentence. You want them to pay the consequences. So why not Karmelo? What's the difference between Karmelo and everybody else and your own children? What's the difference between your own children and Austin? If the same thing would have happened to one of your children like it happened to Austin, what would have happened then? People's tunes would have been different, you guys. I'm not getting it. I'm still to this moment not comprehending why people are standing outside the courtrooms and making it about race. The way that, and you know what's the crazy part, you guys? This was laughable, okay? The defense, right, is now claiming that it was a legal error. And they're basing it upon the fact that there was not one black juror on there and that they dismissed possible jurors. Because those jurors clearly said that they would probably be biased on their decision due to race. It's the right thing to do. If a juror is saying, I'm probably going to be biased in the decision making because of this, why would you want a juror that does that? And the weird part about the defense is they're saying, well, this is a complete legal error, so they filed an appeal. But did they forget that between the prosecution and the defense, they choose their jury? And the defense agreed to the jury? I'm sure some judge along the lines at some point when they go to appeals is going to say, but you guys agreed to your jury, so what's the problem now? You guys agreed to it. Damn, I don't even know this case at all, but it interesting. Now, yes, Leslie, you got to look this shit up. Like the Trilla, if I'm down with Damien, one of my sons, I'd freak out just saying, absolutely, Leslie. I love you, Jennifer. I need to educate myself, but I wanted to come say hello to you. Much love, Leslie. Much love, baby girl. I appreciate you coming in here. Listen, this case is crazy. Like, people can't sit here and be mad at the fact that he got sentenced to 35 years for the crime he committed because he was black. I don't care what color you are. If you commit a crime like that, there has to be consequences. Did people expect him to go free after he killed somebody's child? That's my question here to the public. Did you expect Karmelo Anthony to like go free after he took this kid's life? Doesn't matter what it was for. Doesn't matter what they argued for. Doesn't matter if they shoved each other. Thank you, Jesse. You know what I do to people like that? I block them out. I block them out. I don't even pay. Leslie, I don't even pay mind to that. When people come talking shit in here, listen, I'm already used to this shit. I'm already used to like these platforms. You're going to get trolls in the chat, people talking shit. You're going to get people saying some nasty stuff. And it doesn't even bother me one bit. I just block them. I just block them. Ooh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I blocked the wrong person. Hold on. Put user in timeout. Hold on, Leslie. I think I blocked you by mistake. Miss Leslie, I think I blocked you by mistake. Hold on a second. I don't even know how to unblock you again. Miss Leslie, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. I don't know how to unblock a person again. I don't know how to fucking do this. I probably have to do it through the computer, you guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. Leslie, I hope you're still here. I went to block that idiot. I have to unhide her. How do I do that? View deleted messages. How do I do that? Oh, I got it. 10 seconds. I put her on timeout for 10 seconds. Leslie, I'm fixing it. I put it for 10 seconds. So when you come back in, after 10 seconds, it's going to like take you out of timeout. But anyways. So yeah, like what did the public, you guys don't forget to like and subscribe. What did the public expect to happen to Karmelo Anthony after he killed this kid? Oh, I'm so glad I fixed it, Leslie. I'm so sorry. What did they expect? What did the public expect? They expect him to go free and be out here? So every time somebody pushes him and throws a tantrum, that he's able to go kill another person? Is that what people wanted? They wanted him out here murdering more people or other people's kids? I don't understand. Yes, it wasn't on purpose, Natalie. It was like by mistake. I was like, oh shit, I blocked the wrong person. So I don't understand. So for y'all that are just checking in about the Karmelo Anthony case, bro, like this is a case that happened back in April of 2025. During a meet for an athletic event, Austin Metcalf and his team were under a tent. Karmelo Anthony was invited by one of the boys under that tent. Austin asked Karmelo to leave, and that caused a confrontation. And Karmelo Anthony kept on threatening and saying, touch me and you'll see what happens. But he had his hand in the book bag the whole time where his knife was. So if you guys are checking in, that's what we're talking about. And he was just sentenced to 35 years in prison. And this crime happened when he was 17. But in the state where they live, Texas, they charge 17-year-olds as an adult. You guys get what I'm saying? Hi, Dark Matter. Don't forget to like and subscribe. What'd you say, Leslie? Yes, he had his hand inside the book bag, according to testimony. And he kept on repeating, if you touch me, you're going to see what happens. So like, now you're thinking about it. Put yourself, like, think back here. Like if you were Karmelo Anthony, if you have your hand in the book bag, you're saying, if you touch me, you see what happens. You're already premeditating this shit. You're going to pull out the knife and you're going to stab this kid. And so that's exactly what happened, you guys. Karmelo Anthony was assigned a court-appointed lawyer. I don't understand how far they're going to get with the appeal either, because a judge is going to say, hey, defense, and prosecution agreed to the jury. In high school, I had many pushing matches with bullies. I'm glad no one murdered me. I had no desire to pull a knife on anyone. Hearts have grown cold. Absolutely badass. I totally fucking agree. Like, bro, why? Why take out a knife and go murder somebody because they pushed you? And then people are out here pissed off because he's a black boy that got sentenced to 35 years for murdering a white boy. That's just all it is. It's about race to people. People need to stop being so ignorant. Ignore, like, delete that thought of this being about race. It's not about race. He committed a crime. He took a young boy out and fucked up his own life because now he's sitting in prison for the next 35 years. Oh God, no, just grab the spider did. Oh my God, oh, spiders. Your dog ate it, Leslie, oh my God. And people out here outraged because he didn't get set free. He didn't get set free because this is people's mindset, you guys. Look through social media. Go scroll through Facebook. Go scroll through Instagram, right? Go scroll through Twitter. All you seen is people outraged because he was a black boy that got sentenced for murdering another kid. That's all people are outraged for. It's all about color to people. It's about race. Well, there was not one black person on the jury. Really. They saw the evidence. There was a video. Jury got to see the video of this event that took place with these boys. What did people expect? That he was going to go out free? Now everything is about, if you guys notice, everything is about race. Everything is about race. Was raised for the defense. The parents used the money to purchase the house. Yes, making changes. I just read that too. Making changes makes a great point. They raised $516,000 for the defense of Karmelo Anthony. And for and actually I think it was more making changes. I actually have that information here. I have it. Because I was fucking mind boggled. And it's crazy. They raised and I'm going to tell you how much they raised. Because I have it. The amounts of both sides, okay? Which is insanity to me. I just wouldn't understand it, you know? Because he had a court-appointed lawyer. So they're raising all this money for what? He had a court-appointed lawyer. What did he need the money for? And that's crazy. They bought new vehicles and a house. So a boy gets murdered. And, okay, right here. The Anthony's defense as of Thursday, you guys. Thursday. And this was before. This was a story before. This was People Magazine, you guys. $615,000 they raised for the defense. And he had a court-appointed lawyer. $615,000 they raised for him. And for Austin, over $580,000 was raised for his family. And it says it was created to help offset costs in the wake of his death. The cost of the wake of his death. That's a lot of money. Now you guys that are listening to me, you don't think that's crazy? They raised $615,000 for Karmelo Anthony. For what? He had a court-appointed lawyer. See, I would have understood if they wanted to get a different attorney, not court-appointed. Like, I would understand. Like, if you need a good lawyer, okay, let's pay this money to the lawyer. But if that's true, what you're saying, making changes, that they use that money to buy houses and vehicles and all, that's fucking insanity to me. So that to me right there tells me if that's true, because I'm not too sure. You guys, listen to me. I'm not saying that that's true. This is, maybe he read this somewhere. I don't know. I'm not too sure about this. But I'm saying if it's true, if is the good word here, then they're clearly taking advantage of their son in jail and the death of a child. Clearly taking advantage of the whole situation. Benefiting themselves out of the death of one and the incarceration of the other. And I find that disgusting. It is crazy, Leslie. That's a lot of fucking money for a court-appointed lawyer. If they really used a court-appointed attorney, then the money they raised was fraud. Absolutely, they did. His name was, I can actually tell you his court-appointed lawyer, I tell you who he was. I have his name, actually. Donnie Perales. Go look it up, you guys. Clearly, Anthony was assigned a court-appointed attorney, Donnie Perales, for his appeal after filing a pauper's oath. Court-appointed attorney. Insanity. If they're going for the appeal, maybe they're going to use some of those funds to get a better attorney. But you had a court-appointed lawyer, so I'm not understanding. Donnie. Sounds like another person we know. Oh, Jesus. It's insanity to me. Insanity to me. A lot of money. A lot of money for what? And if it's true what you're saying, making changes, that they used it to buy houses and vehicles and are living a lavish life, at the cost of what? The death of one and the incarceration of the other? Okay, Anonymous. So Anonymous says that it was a court appointed for his appeal. So, if anybody knows anything about this case, I'm going to look that up now. I want to see who his attorney was during the case, the trial. I'm looking it up now, you guys. I'm looking that up because now I'm fucking mind boggled. Okay. So, Mike Howard. So, he's right. Anonymous or she. I don't know if it's a he or she. If for the appeal, there's a court-appointed attorney. But damn, if you raised $615,000, you still would have had money left because that trial only took like 4 days, you guys. 4 days. You still would have had money left over to pay another attorney, not a court-appointed. It says attorneys were Mike Howard and Toby Shook during his murder trial. Nuts. Nuts. Insanity. Had 3 on retainer. Wow. This is good to know, Anonymous. Thank you for filling us in. The family used that money already. Oh my God. See, the family used... So they used the $615,000 for what? For the attorneys? Is that what you're saying, Anonymous? Because I know somebody in here that was just texting. I think it was making changes, said that the family was like buying houses or something. And I said, if that's true, that's fucked up. But I'm not too sure. Welcome to the nation. Hello. Welcome to my channel. Time to get educated. Love you, Jen. I heard they bought an Escalade. An Escalade? Look at that. So we don't know what to believe anymore. We don't know if these people use some of this money for fucking lavish lifestyle or what. Maybe use some of it for his attorneys that they were using during the trial. I don't know. But like I said earlier, you guys, the defense, their witnesses, they benefited the prosecution. A lot of their testimony was like not really good for Karmelo Anthony. Maybe like a few. That's it. And not really. Most of it was like benefiting the prosecution, which is insanity to me. I don't know what they bought. I don't know that's fucked up. If that's what they did, that's fucked up. I don't think. But people like even public figures, you guys notice? I've been scrolling through social media. Public figures like Cardi B, Jasmine, they're criticizing these convictions. You know? And the Metcalf family, you guys. Hi, Auntie Jerry. Much love to you. If you guys haven't yet, don't forget to like and subscribe. The Metcalf family has reported receiving death threats after he was sentenced, and harassment following the verdict. They paid the lawyer. Then on 2 houses and 3 cars, they under investigation. As you're reading this, 750,000. Wow. So they paid the lawyer and spent money on 2 houses. Anonymous says they spent money on 2 houses and 3 cars. They are under investigation. That's crazy to me. Somebody just said here that that's fucking fraud. Because if you're collecting donations for his legal defense fund, right? Why are you buying fucking houses and fucking cars? You're benefiting off the death of one and the incarceration of the other. That shit's way out of pocket in my fucking eyes. That is fraud. That is fucking fraud. You're defrauding the fucking community and people and telling them that you're going to use it for a defense fund and you're using it for your own benefit. That's crazy to me, bro. Now, it only took 3 hours, approximately 3 hours to deliberate the jury, right? And they reached a guilty verdict. That happened June 9th. That's why they are under investigation. That shit's fucking insanity to me. I can't wait to find out. I hope that goes public. If they are under investigation for what they did with that money and what they bought with that money that was supposed to be used for Karmelo Anthony's defense fund, I hope that investigation goes public. Because while people are outraged that Karmelo received 35 years, nobody's thinking about this other family that lost their child. And they're getting scrutinized publicly, this other family that lost their kid. So not only are they receiving death threats and being scrutinized by the public and being shitted on because they're fighting for their child that is no longer here because of the actions of Karmelo Anthony. But now Karmelo Anthony's family is benefiting off of this whole situation. Oh, it will be. Yeah, I can't wait for that, Anonymous. I can't wait for that shit to be on in the public eye. Because nobody's seeing what this family's going through. Auntie Jerry, you said they took Eddie's GoFundMe. Yeah, that's right. Auntie Jerry. So if nobody knows about the Eddie O'Brien case, they were raising money for the Ed O'Brien. And they took his funds. They returned it right back to the senders. It's insanity. You know? And I don't think that people will think the way they're thinking if it was their child that got murdered. I feel actually bad for the Metcalf family. And I was feeling bad for Karmelo's family because I'm like, damn, yes, he committed a crime, but that's their child at the end of the day. You know, this is me thinking here. But now to come to find out that all of this is happening behind the scenes and they're fucking, taking this money and spending it on fucking junk while this kid is sitting behind bars and the other one's dead. Now that shit got me pissed. Gives and Go has shut down a few different crowdfunding pages since the guilty verdict as it violates their policy. Refunds have been issued, but I don't know how much was refunded. Oh shit, I didn't even know that shit. That's crazy. Both families had advocates spreading the racism in the beginning. Absolutely. I agree making changes. That's another thing. You guys, outside of the courtroom, there was the African Americans fighting for Karmelo, protesting on behalf of Karmelo. And then we had people protesting on behalf of the Metcalf family. And what Making Changes says there is truth. There was a lot of racist behavior being demonstrated in front of that courthouse. There was even physical altercations between both groups, you guys. Go check it out. Read up on that. Physical altercations. Beating each other outside the courtroom over the conviction and the sentencing of Karmelo Anthony because of the crime he committed. So I agree making changes. Absolutely, Melinda. Don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys. I agree. That's not cool. They're all beating on each other outside a courtroom when, this is reality, bro. Like, what are people so mad at? At the fact that he got consequences for what he fucking did? And then they acted like fools on both sides outside the courtroom? They did make it very racist outside the courtroom, though, you guys. It's true what Making Changes said. 3 arrests after the verdict. Absolutely. You see? Anonymous is telling us. 3 arrests after the verdict. Okay, honey. There's no accountability. Absolutely. I agree, Melinda. No accountability. People don't want people to... We need to teach our kids. People need to be taught they need to take accountability for their actions. I agree. People don't want people to take accountability. He's my son and he was black. So he doesn't need consequences for what he did. Wrong. Doesn't matter the color he is. If he committed a crime, he needs to pay the consequences. Point blank, period. If he's white and he committed a crime, he needs to have consequence. Point blank, period. Yes, I understand our justice system is all fucked up. We know. Look at the Karen Reed trial. Look at the Eddie O'Brien trial. If you haven't heard about that, go look that up. The Eddie O'Brien trial happened in 97, but that was a murder in 95, and he was a kid. And lots of times, the problem is with the legal system is lots of times a lot of people are railroaded by the justice system because of who you know, who's in power, you know, the connections. But what happened here with this case was it was clear as day. There was video evidence, you guys. How can the jury say we can't give him consequences and sentence him after seeing all that evidence? And even the defense's testimonies, all their witnesses benefited the prosecution. There was clear evidence. You get what I'm saying, you guys? Violence is not the answer. Absolutely, I agree. He could have walked away, but he didn't. I agree. Doesn't matter what color you are in the fucking rainbow. If you do some fucked up shit, you better know that there's consequences. But, you know, there is, let's keep it real. There is a lot of fucked up parts in the justice system. I've seen, hi Anonymous, I've seen people get railroaded. Eddie O'Brien was one of them. Railroaded by the justice system. Look that case up, you guys. It'll say a lot of fucked up shit, but if you go on to thetruthabouteddieobrien.com, you will see plenty of evidence that says otherwise, okay? The Karen Reed case, she was being railroaded. Now she's suing the shit out of the fucking Massachusetts State Police, and she's suing the shit out of Canton PD, and God knows how many other lawsuits are coming. There's plenty of people that were wrongfully convicted. We get it. But here, in this situation with Karmelo Anthony, there was video evidence. Everything was there. And what he told, because they have even footage from body cams from the cops that interacted with Karmelo Anthony after that happened. Even after, there was video evidence. And whatever he was telling the cops was not the same thing that happened. Is that the guy about a purse or backpack? Eddie? No, Eddie O'Brien. So if you guys haven't heard it, my son is in prison for a crime he didn't commit. That I'm sorry to hear that. I'm telling you, there's a lot of fucked up cases out here. People are fucking getting railroaded by the system. So I get it. Both advocates use emotions on the community. Absolutely. I agree making changes. They did. No, Eddie O'Brien is a young boy. He was 15 at the time in 95. He lived in Somerville, and his best friend's mother was murdered. She was stabbed 97 times. And Eddie O'Brien happened to walk into the house while the murderer was in the house, and she was dead in the house. And they pinned it on him at the age of 15. It was all about politics, you guys. Look it up. There's a book on it. Margot Nash wrote it. It's on Amazon. It's called Politics of Murder. Let me tell you, it was all political. It was like, you know, we're trying to pass a legislative law to charge young kids as adults when they commit heinous crimes like this. And they use Eddie as the example. And the kid has been sitting in jail. Now he's not a kid, he's a man. He's been sitting in jail since he was 15 years old. 15, and now he's 46. But there's a Rule 30 going in starting the end of June, and they're going to ask to overturn all those decisions. And there's probably going to be a new trial because there's so much evidence, you guys, brand new evidence, that leads to believe that the DA's office, the DA during that time, he railroaded this kid on purpose due to politics. And it got him a position as an attorney general. It's crazy, you guys. Is that the guy or a person? Yes, there's a lot of people in jail for no crimes. Absolutely anonymous. Did they do that? No, they haven't done a documentary yet. I think they're working on trying to see if they're going to do a documentary on the Eddie O'Brien case. But look it up. There's a website, The Truth About Eddie O'Brien. It's on .com. You can also go on Instagram, The Truth About Eddie O'Brien. Follow it. They're always uploading new evidence that they're going to use, which thankfully the court approved the motion of adding new evidence in, okay? And hopefully we're going to go into a new trial and we're going to set Eddie free, okay? Also, there's a Facebook group called Free Eddie O'Brien. You guys can look it up. Because if you look it up on Google, it's just going to say what the media let out during that time. During that time. I'm sure that a documentary at some point will come out about Eddie O'Brien. And it's going to be good. And then at the end, I hope when it does come out, we see Eddie O'Brien being free after 30 years or 31 years being in prison wrongfully as a child. Eddie O'Brien didn't get to make a family. He didn't get to go to prom. He didn't get to graduate high school. He didn't get to do anything. He didn't get to have children. He didn't get to have a life with his family. He didn't get to enjoy Christmases, Thanksgivings, everything, you guys. Look that up. When that trial starts, it's going to be great. I can't wait to be part of it. I like being part of these trials. I went to the Carol Reed trial, trial 1, trial 2. I went to some court dates for Kelsey Fitzsimmons, if you guys haven't heard of her. Kelsey Fitzsimmons, North Andover Police Department. She was the cop that got shot by her colleague. And her fiance, ex-fiance, knew all these people and the family was well known. They were trying to railroad her too. And I'm glad that all her shit worked out. I went probably to like 2 court dates for Kelsey Fitzsimmons. I like being part of that. All of these cases. When the Eddie O'Brien case starts, you know my ass is going to be there holding up signs. Absolutely, Auntie Jerry. If y'all don't know, Eddie O'Brien, Geraldine Balcom that you see here in the chat, that's Eddie's aunt. There's plenty of people talking about the Eddie O'Brien case. You guys can also subscribe to the Can We Keep It Real podcast. Mikey, he's over there talking about the Eddie O'Brien case. The JFK channel, JFK Show Off, he spoke about it. He did a couple of, episodes at the beginning. He did a couple of those episodes. But now Mikey from Can We Keep It Real is the one that's talking about it now. I'm telling you guys, this is going to be great. This is going to be insanity. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be insanity. It's all the evidence that they have is coming out. Brand new evidence is coming out on the Eddie O'Brien case. And this trial is going to be insanity. And right now, I think the DA that prosecuted Eddie O'Brien is about 82 years old. Making changes. What type of vibe I got from Eddie? I'm going to tell you what type of vibe. The first time I ever met... Take 2. The first time I ever met Eddie, I went with the mindset. Because you guys, if you don't know and you're new to my channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. I went to visit Eddie O'Brien. Okay? Eddie O'Brien is in a prison in Mass. Gardner, Mass. Okay? And I went to visit Eddie O'Brien. We start emailing first. And I went to visit him over at the prison. And I visited Eddie from November all the way to February. I think it was the end of November. Maybe the beginning of December. And when I first met Eddie, my mindset was, when I went to go visit Eddie, was go to interview him, have a conversation with him. And I did a few questions, but with time, I wanted to get to know Eddie as a person, as a human being, not as like, okay, I want to interview him and that's it. Like, this is just a story for me. Absolutely not. I wanted to get to know him as a person. And let me tell you guys something. The vibe I got from Eddie, answering your question, making changes, was he's a wonderful person. And Eddie did not do that crime. When I sit down with somebody and I talk to them, you guys, I study their body language. And I look them in the eyes. And I study how they fidget. You know, people when they're lying, they fidget, they move. There's just so much weird body movement. And the vibe I got from Eddie is he's not guilty. He's very honest, very down to earth. You can clearly tell he was railroaded by the system. Eddie O'Brien is a good person. He was fucked over. That's all it was. He's a great person. We shoot the shits. Every time I would visit him, we would have dinner together in there. We had a great time. He was funny. He has a great sense of humor. And when I looked at Eddie in his eyes, I still see that young boy that was there from when he was 15. Because he didn't get to live his life. He was institutionalized since he was a child. In prison walls with adults as a child. So I know that that inner child is still within Eddie. He was a great person making changes. I don't want to pry open anyone's past, but may I ask what he's being accused of? Eddie O'Brien was accused of stabbing his best friend's mother 97 times. That's what he was accused of. And Eddie O'Brien did not stab that woman. Let me tell you something. Eddie O'Brien went into that house at the wrong time. Eddie O'Brien, when you stab somebody 97 times, right, you guys? And there's blood everywhere, and you have a white shirt, you're supposed to be full of blood, right? Correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys. Eddie O'Brien didn't have blood. There was DNA under the woman's fingernails that didn't match Eddie O'Brien. But the prosecution, the DA's office, didn't give a fuck about that. They didn't test anybody else. They didn't question anybody else. The first person they saw was Eddie O'Brien. We got great things for testing DNA and all that stuff. Why don't they take that DNA, right? There's a few people in mind. Let's start testing every motherfucker, even her kids. Let's start testing every one of them and match that DNA. Because it sure as hell wasn't Eddie's. But they pinned it on him. He have a lawyer right now. Yeah, he has a lawyer, but we're hoping to raise enough funds for Eddie. So there's a gives and go for Eddie. Next time that we're here, I'll pin it up on the chat. So whoever wants to donate, they can donate to his defense fund. We're trying to get him one of the best fucking attorneys on site. Because he deserves it. Come on now, like 30 fucking 1 years in fucking jail as a baby, as a kid, 15 years old, institutionalized with fucking grown men. So, you know, you guys can look it up. I'm telling you, go into www.thetruthabouteddieobrien.com. You're going to see all the evidence. Dude, back then, the DA would write notes, you guys. I'm just going to tell you this. The DA would write notes, right? And can you believe in one of these notes, you guys, that surfaced after years later and they've been deciphering every DA note because it's like chicken scratch. It was like basically pin it on him, say it was him, basically. That's what it's saying, in other words. Make it match. Make it match. Can you believe that shit? So all this new evidence is going to be submitted. So, yeah. And let's not forget, the people handling the DNA and the blood samples from Eddie O'Brien's case, these people, I can guarantee, were all promised higher positions because after Eddie O'Brien was sentenced to life in prison, right? These people got higher positions, both of them. And D.A. Riley became the Attorney General. So they all advanced, right? But you want to know something, you guys? After years later, right? Years later, the same two people that were handling the DNA and blood samples from the Eddie O'Brien case, what happened to them? They were fired for mishandling DNA samples and blood samples. Both. Imagine being promoted for doing the favor for the DA and then being fired years later because you were mishandling blood samples and DNA. That's some fucked up shit. If they have DNA, I'm military. I can talk to a military lawyer, see what he can dig up, if that will help. That would be great, Anonymous. That would be great. That would be awesome. Make the shoe size fit. Absolutely. Look at making changes. He made a great point. Make the shoe size fit. Anonymous, if they have DNA, it can be tested 100%. Absolutely, Anonymous. That's what we've been saying for years. They're saying it now. We want everybody tested. They had a guy that was, the lady that was murdered, her sister was married to a creep named Artie Ortiz. And there was so much odd shit going on in her house when she kicked him and her sister out of her house. And this guy is going around claiming innocence when Eddie O'Brien is sitting in jail for the murder of Janet Downey, according to the courts, right? Why are you still claiming innocence, Artie Ortiz? And in everybody's chats, on every Reddit, you'll see this guy everywhere. On Reddit, everybody's chats on social media platforms that are talking about the Eddie O'Brien case, you will see him arguing and claiming innocence and all this shit. But why? And lying too. We call him the liar, because he uses lair. Instead of saying liar, he says lair. You know? If somebody's sitting in jail for the crime, right? Why are you out here still defending the shit? Like defending yourself from people. If you didn't commit a crime. Odd-ass behavior. There was a lot of people. That investigation was not done properly and it was purposely done like that. There was plenty of people that they left out that were not DNA tested. And they have that DNA test. And they need to run it with all these people. Hopefully, Anonymous, when Eddie O'Brien gets his new trial and they have all this evidence, we can get all these people to all get DNA tested. And we're going to get to the bottom of it. And we'll get the real justice for Janet Downing. And we'll get justice for Eddie O'Brien too. And he could be freed from a crime. And the real murderer can sit in jail for the rest of their life. He won't help. I don't know. He's been trying to get... I didn't know that. Yes, I'm making changes. That's what happened. Well, he's gotten help and, a lot of different helps. But let me tell you something. A lot of people have fucked the O'Briens over a lot. I'm just going to keep it 100. Eddie O'Brien had an attorney years ago when he was a kid. His name was Bob George. And he took a lot of money from the O'Briens. And then when it came time to represent him there, he just fucking bailed on them and took their fucking money. And they were trying to get him on a show to interview. 2 shows, actually. He didn't want to do it. Why is that, Bob George? You fucked this family over. And you let the system railroad him. Who paid Bob George off? Who paid him off? That's the question here. He took a lie detector and passed, and he also did a truth serum. Yep, so this is, everybody here, Auntie Jerry, Gerald D. Balcom is Eddie's aunt. There's a video. They did a truth serum and a lie detector test to Eddie O'Brien, and he passed. The DA didn't give a fuck about that. He's like, nope, he still did it. He didn't care about it. Because all he cared about was convicting Eddie, sentencing his ass, and sending him to jail. Because it made him look good to pass that legislative law. Did he use all his appeals yet? Is there any new evidence? There's plenty of new evidence, Anonymous. Go on the Truth About Eddie O'Brien.com. Go on there. You're going to see all that new evidence that's going in there. They're just putting in a Rule 30 in. Okay? And the motion for new evidence to be entered has been approved. So this is exciting. I'm excited for this trial to start once it gets the ball rolling after the Rule 30 and everything else like that. I'm excited for all this. Mm-hmm. They want to overturn his initial decision when he was young, a juvenile. A las 10:40 no te la puedes tomar. So take one. Está por ahí. So anyways, yeah, so then Bob George went to jail. Yep, Bob George went to jail for, what was it, for embezzlement, right? Making changes. Bob George, the one that was the attorney to Eddie O'Brien, went to jail for embezzlement and a whole bunch of shit. This motherfucker. So he was a corrupt ass motherfucker. He was a corrupt motherfucker. Corrupt. Did he use all his appeals yet? So Eddie O'Brien is trying to overturn those decisions from when he was younger, with the Rule 30 and everything else. Hopefully we'll get new trials going, Anonymous, to answer your question. Who requested the serum and polygraph test? They did it. They did it there. And they did it with a doctor there. But they didn't give a fuck. The defense really didn't give a fuck about, you know, they didn't give a fuck about, you know, what the results were. Okay, if there's no evidence, do Rule 30. Yeah, they did the Rule 30 already. They're working on all that shit. The Commonwealth paid for the testing. So Auntie Jerry says that the Commonwealth, which is here in Massachusetts, paid for the testing. Yes, the judge ordered the test. They ordered the test, and he passed. And the DA was like, fuck that. We don't give a fuck about the... They didn't give a fuck about the real truth, to be honest, you guys. They didn't give a fuck about that shit. They just wanted a fucking railroad Eddie. Because it was all convenient for all of them. It was all about politics, you guys. That's all it was. That's all it was. Bob George, that motherfucker. And Eddie O'Brien actually went in front of the board for parole, right? But it seems to me that when I saw that video of him at the parole hearing, right? It's like they want him to admit that he murdered somebody when he didn't, for him to earn his freedom. And they denied it because he wouldn't admit that he did something. He said it clearly. Me, I didn't do that. I didn't do anything. Eddie O'Brien immediately shut that shit down. And they denied his parole. Because they want you to fucking say, yes, I did it. Okay, now you can let me out now. No. He's not going to admit to something he didn't do. So we're hoping that this ball gets rolling with the Rule 30, everything. They already worked on that. This is going to get good, you guys. You're going to see this on TV, national TV. You're going to see this all over the place. And I'm going to be talking about it on this channel. And Mikey from Can We Keep It Real podcast will be talking about it too. There's plenty of people that are going to be talking about it. You guys should all subscribe to all these channels, bro. You can have the same test requested again by private, not Commonwealth. Anonymous, the problem is that now they don't accept polygraph tests in the court system or the truth serum test. No, they don't accept them anymore. It's not I know. They don't think it's a good thing anymore. Yeah, like it's not they don't do no, that. They don't do that. Tell him no. Don't do what? Don't do what, Anonymous? I'm reading everybody's chat. DA said junk science. Yep. The judge ordered the status. Yep. I'm waiting on what you're going to say, Anonymous. No, don't do that. Tell him no. I don't think that they can use any polygraph test. Admit to it. Absolutely not. No. He's like, fuck no. He's never going to admit to that. He never did it. So he went happily. I know probably hurt because he wants to be out with his family and do his life. But he's not going to admit to something he didn't do. The real murderers out there just chilling, living their life. But they ain't nothing done in the dark that doesn't come to light. Everything comes to the light. It doesn't matter how many years it takes. 9. There is no appealing the skin color of the jury, and they were not all white anyway. That's a lie. Maybe no blacks, but not all white. If they got it, we're gonna feel they got nothing. I agree. 9. We're talking about the Eddie O'Brien case. Yes, we're talking about the Karmelo case too, but we kind of, because we were talking about how bad that I understand that the justice system is all fucked up and they can kind of railroad people. I totally get it. But with the Karmelo Anthony case, like, there was too much evidence against him. There was video. So I don't know why people are making this about race. Like, it's clear as day. They had plenty of evidence. Even the defense's testimony from their witnesses benefited the prosecution to get him sentenced. Had nothing to do with skin color. And people, you guys, we live in a society that anything that's done, it's like, oh, it's because I'm Hispanic. Oh, it's because I'm black. Oh, it's because I'm white. Oh, it's because everything is racist. You're a racist. Why am I a racist? You know what I'm saying? To everybody? That's Mr. Unforgettable, you guys.
You know why it's being really hard for Iku in this case?
No, I'm talking about the Carmelo Anthony case
No, no,
that
no.
just happened.
I'm talking about Brian.
Eddie O'Brien.
Eddie Brian. You know what's so hard? The biggest mistake that the judge is gonna do is like the they want them to be, how you call this, like and then they would let him go. They would let him go at least for 2 months. But then the family's gonna say that's not fair. Why when people kill somebody, they do even life? Why he already gotta do? Look at people get stabbed. People get killed by 2 staff. And you kill somebody with a knife, or you hitting it 2 times in the right spot, and you kill them, and you go to jail. And then if Eddie Brown, he said, oh yeah, I did it. What's gonna happen? They're gonna let him go. All right, he did his time, but what's gonna happen? It's not gonna stay there. It's a trick. It's a hook for the family to come and say, okay, so you let you.
No, because to the parole board, they're gonna say he already did his time.
No,
to them. You know how that goes.
But
you can still have the test done even if the courts don't want to see it.
Yeah, but
a lawyer can use that as fuel to build what it's a tactical issue. Absolutely.
The only way that's look at you say, oh yeah, but no, it's not that. He's charged already. Yeah. When you
he was sentenced.
When you sentence us, that means you are charged. Now you are fighting to come out. You talking with the truth now, right? But what I'm talking about is that if he decides to say, yeah, I did it, what thing is going to happen with the rest of the people? So if that guy killed somebody and he said he feel guilty for it, 98 something, well, how many stabbed?
Well, Janet Downing was stabbed 97 times.
Okay, they put 97 stab, right? And then people are gonna say, okay,
close to 100 stabs.
He stabbed somebody, 97 stab, and this guy did already in jail. Now he's out in the street again, and people that already killed somebody, right? They could use the same lie and say, oh, so if he's out, I only killed somebody for 2 stabbing. No, that's not gonna work. It's like the 2 brothers. Remember the 2 brothers that they killed the parents?
Oh yeah, he's talking about the Menendez brothers. He's talking about that too. That they said they claimed that the parents were like abusive and stuff like that. Remember that, you guys?
So Eddie don't want to do that. He don't want to fall guilty for it. He don't want to do that.
And making changes to what you're saying, right? You said they were trying to compare the supporters, right? Well, they were comparing the Karmelo Anthony case to the Kyle Rittenhouse case. Insanity to me. He must never admit to it. I'll subscribe so I can see what I can do and keep you posted. Absolutely. But subscribe and like. Yes, I would love to see you guys here. We talk about a whole bunch of stuff here. We talk about these cases. I spoke about the Sharilla case, the Mackenzie Sharilla case, about the girl that killed both her boyfriend and his best friend. You can check that out too. We talk about different things. We even talk about things in life.
Look at, you know what's going on? I haven't been in jail for a lot of years, but I've been in jail out in and out, and I know the system inside there. Judge and the court, especially the Commonwealth and the DA.
Auntie Jerry said hello.
They're never gonna give you a good deal. The thing is that they probably put somebody there and say, okay, this guy having a meeting, even if he never done it. We gotta put a trick there for equal admitted. So when he admitted, he's not. Commonwealth is not gonna put you no deal out there. Commonwealth just if Commonwealth.
It's about money. It's about money, politics, and who you know. It's crazy to me.
Commonwealth, even the Commonwealth know that he's not guilty, because if he's not guilty, why you giving him a deal? Who? Because he did what? Because he already been in jail for 30-something
31 years.
And you want to give him a deal? That mean that he's not. Did he
have a public defender when he got this put on him? Yeah, he had public defenders. But like I said, Bob George was his attorney. His parents paid a lot of money to him, and then he backed out last minute. He left them and took their money, and then he went to jail. He was trash.
Remember, when somebody kills somebody, right? Or somebody's getting blamed for killing somebody, and they get charged, they get no deals. They get no deals. Commonwealth is giving the deal to him, right? For he could admit, even if he didn't do it, But that's not going to happen. If that does happen, what's going to happen is he's not going to even last not even 2 months in the street, because people that are in jail that probably got innocent too, or people that are probably not innocent, are going to try to compare his case with their own case. But the thing is that people really did it, and some people did not do it. So it's not convenient for him to say, yeah, I did it. No, he cannot say that. He had to fight for his freedom, because it's the same thing. If he's in jail, right? He can't do nothing. But if he took that deal and he's in the street, he's gonna feel like he's in jail, because in his head he said, okay, I came out, but I got they installed me in the brain, the Commonwealth installed me in my brain that, yeah, I'm out, but people gonna see me like I'm murdered.
Like
He don't
a murderer, yeah.
He don't want to come.
Like a murderer,
He don't want to come outside looking like a murderer. He want to come out looking like a normal person that he is,
and an innocent person at that. Now, getting back to the Karmelo Anthony case. Here are the main categories of witnesses and what they testified about. He will never admit to anything because he's innocent. Absolutely, Auntie Jerry.
Woo!
That's why he got burnt. I'll definitely talk to the lawyers I know through the military. I can't promise nothing, but I'll help. I would appreciate that, Anonymous. I would definitely appreciate that. And my email, you'll find it on my channel. It's theunfilteredcorner1@gmail.com. You can email me too. You can find it there on my page. So back to the Karmelo Anthony case, you guys, right? Here are the main categories, right, of witnesses and what they testified about, right? The student eyewitnesses, right? Several students from both schools, right, testified about the confrontation between Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf, right? Under that tent during the rain delay at the track meet. Okay? I found your email. Absolutely, you have my email. Just email me. I'll definitely keep in touch with you. I would appreciate that. That would be much appreciated. I'm sure the O'Briens would appreciate that too. That'd be great. Auntie Jerry's here. That's his aunt. This is what witnesses said. And we're talking about the student eyewitnesses. They said that Anthony was asked multiple times to leave. And these are students from both schools. Testified this. From Karmelo's school and the other, or, you know, from Karmelo's side and the other side. Right? They asked him multiple times to leave. He allegedly responded with phrases like, touch me and find out. Austin Metcalf pushed Anthony shortly before the stabbing. So he pushed Anthony, and then Anthony responded with stabbing Austin, right? And many student witnesses told the jurors they did not believe it was self-defense, okay? Some students also testified Hunter Metcalf, which is Austin's twin brother, was not initially involved in the confrontation. And Anthony appeared angry and confrontational before the stabbing. These are students from both schools testifying this, okay? Now, coaches and school staff, look what they testified. The chaos after the stabbing, identifying Anthony after the incident, the conditions during the weather delay and crowding under the tents, the police officers and school resource officers that testified. The officers testified about Anthony's statements immediately after the stabbing. Body camera footage. Yo, you cannot fight camera footage. You cannot fight video evidence. It's there. It's plain view. Okay, you guys? Body camera footage shown to the jurors. Anthony reportedly saying things like, to the officers, right? He put his hands on me. Video evidence clearly says otherwise, right? I told him not to put his hands on me. The only hands that he put on him was push him, like shove him away. So but he didn't punch him.
Who?
He didn't hit him. This is another case. We'll talk about it later, Mr. Unforgettable. I've seen the real video unedited. There's 5 videos, but phones and 2 by school cameras. I seen a phone video. It's crazy. You can't You can't beat that. There's video evidence. So I don't know why there's so much craziness going on and protesting and all this shit, okay? And Anthony reported said at body cam video footage that he did it, okay? So he admitted to doing what he did. Now the medical examiner, they testified, right? They gave graphic testimony, okay? They talked about the fatal chest wound. You know how they get all into the mix of how, what it looked like, how bad it was. They get all like into the information about it, okay? They testified of the cause of death and the path of the stab wound, like the way he was stabbed. Now, listen to this, you guys. So anybody that comes across my page and wants to be like, well, Karmelo Anthony didn't get a fair trial, blah, 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 blah. Defense witnesses. Listen to this. The defense called Anthony's track coach, a police officer, students from the Centennial and Memorial High Schools, friends, and classmates of Anthony. Their defense witnesses testified and claimed Anthony had been invited into the tent by another student. The confrontation escalated quickly. Austin's push came before Anthony used the knife. This is what they're testifying. Anthony appeared scared or cornered. This is the defense. Some of their testimonies from their peoples that they had. Anthony's mother said during sentencing, Anthony's mother testified and asked the jury for leniency, speaking about his background and remorse. Reports indicate the prosecution presented around 21 witnesses before resting its case. 21 witnesses, you guys. 21 of them. That's insanity, right? According to the testimony and reporting from inside the courtroom, the surveillance video shown to jurors did not clearly capture the actual knife entering Austin Metcalf's chest. But prosecutors said it showed the confrontation leading up to the stabbing under the team tent. What more? What more? People, listen. What more do the people want than that? There's evidence against Karmelo Anthony. He didn't get a fair case because he's black. No. There's video evidence, you guys. Let's freaking open up our eyes and not make everything about race. And lately, that's all I hear lately. Everything, oh, it's because I'm black. It's because I'm Hispanic. It's because I'm Asian. It's because I'm white. No. Yes, that has happened. I'm not saying it hasn't happened. African American people have dealt with that racism. Hispanics like myself, I'm Puerto Rican. I've dealt with that racism. Trust and believe. Asians, everybody has dealt with some type of racism. But in this case, there was too much evidence and video evidence and testimony. You know what I'm saying, you guys? Prosecutors told jurors the video showed, right? Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf arguing under the Memorial High School tent during the rain delay. They were arguing. They took his heart out and said it was a twisted stab wound. That means it was intentional due to the twist stab. Yeah, it was like that. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Insanity to me, bro. Crazy to me. That's sad. One person shoving another under the tent. That's what the video evidence showed, you know? The confrontation lasting several minutes before the stabbing occurred. A person prosecutors later identified as Anthony running away from the tent afterward. Witness testimony connected the video to the stabbing itself. Meaning, the witnesses that testified, it was clearly connected to what was caught on video, you guys. And we need to cut it out about this race thing. And let's open our eyes. Because if Austin Metcalf was your kid, I think you would feel different. And you would want somebody that did this to one of your kids, God forbid, to be prosecuted and sentenced to life in prison. I would. They told the truth. Absolutely, Anonymous. Absolutely. So witness testimony connected the video to the stabbing itself. Multiple student witnesses, Anthony allegedly challenged Metcalf with statements like, touch me and see what happens. And he already had his hand in the book bag. So he already had intention of using the knife. It's not like, oh, touch me and see what happens with, and then he put down the book bag. And then they're going to square up and fight it out and duke it out. No, he had his hand in the book bag. Austin Metcalf gave Anthony a one-handed push. Like, now this was multiple student witnesses that said this. And you guys know that these statements and these testimonies are asked individually. And multiple people saying the same thing. What's the odds of that, you guys? You know what I'm saying? Anthony then pulled the knife and stabbed him in the chest almost immediately afterward. So it's not like Austin pushed him, right? And then Anthony pushed him back. No, immediately, right after. Boom. Reports from the court also said jurors were shown surveillance footage from the stadium area. Police body camera footage after the stabbing. So they were shown not only the surveillance from the stadium, the body cam footage. And crime scene photos and evidence, including the knife and Anthony's backpack. And it says no publicly released courtroom footage has shown a clear close-up of the actual stabbing itself because cameras were not allowed inside the courtroom during trial proceedings. And it says here, photos and testimony presented in court showed that Karmelo Anthony's backpack contained mostly everyday school items, along with the knife prosecutors said was used in the stabbing. Toxic, I don't think it was too harsh. He did that intentionally. And we have to also see, they're going to allow him to go in front of a parole board after half of those 35 years. And let's say they let him out. This family has to live with the fact that their child will no longer be here on earth. And I don't feel like people should be punished for the rest of their life. No. If you did the crime, you do the time, whatever, boom, right? But damn, I put myself also in the shoes of this family that lost their kid. I'd be fucking standing 10 toes down for my kid and fighting for that shit and making sure that whoever did that to my kid gets the maximum sentence. And knowing myself that I'm fucking petty and I'm an asshole, I'll probably be looking for a way of making sure that prison inmates handle their business. For my kids, I'll do anything. I mean, not everybody can think like me, right? You don't have to think like me. And I know that sounds ignorant, but I'm just keeping it real. I'll do that for mine. 35 years more than the dude he stabbed. Yeah. His social media states he was gang related and school records said he had issues with teachers, and then this happened. So you see? And then the mother gets up there to testify about his background. Really? And now they're basing it on his color, and that's why he's facing consequences. No. Why was Karmelo Anthony with that background to begin with? Parents need to take accountability too, just like I said about the Mackenzie Shirilla case. If you don't correct your kids when they're young, they're going to grow up to do things they're not supposed to be doing. If you don't give consequences to your kids for doing bad shit and you applaud their fucking bad behavior, just know they'll probably end up 6 feet on the ground or in a jail cell. Straight up. Parents need to take accountability too. They need to take accountability for the way they're raising their kids. And you can't use the way they were raised as a sob or pity story to get them out of what they committed, a crime, a murder. As parents, sometimes we think we could get our kids out of everything. And that's wrong. We need to let them face consequences. As parents, we're doing the right thing when we give consequences to our kids. And we're keeping them straight in line, walking down a straight, narrow path. Keeping them on check. Correcting them when they're wrong. Punishing them when they do something wrong. For real, bro. Because look at now. Karmelo Anthony sitting in a jail cell for 35 years. Mackenzie Shirilla is sitting in jail, serving 2 concurrent 15 to life sentences. And still, her parents are standing 10 toes down for their daughter like, oh, she's innocent. She didn't do it purposely. Like, no. Bro, video evidence don't lie. That girl clearly ran that car into that wall purposely at 100 miles per hour. Did not brake once. The black boss didn't lie. Did not brake once. And then the shift gear was going from neutral to drive. Somebody was fighting for their life in that car. May Davion and Dom rest in peace. I get it. Parents want to stand 10 toes down for their children regardless of what they do. But you need to learn to let your kids take accountability for the shit they do. You can support your children, but also don't enable them and applaud their bad behavior. Because you know what happens? Then you're crying years later because they're either 6 feet on the ground, like I said, or sitting in a prison cell. Yeah, I seen that Mackenzie broke. Yeah, but Karmelo had both parents at home, though. That's okay if he had both parents. What I'm saying is, it's the upbringing. You know what I'm saying? How did they upbring him? I don't know. I don't know them personally. But if he was gang related and he was doing all that shit, that's crazy. It's crazy to me. Listen, I have 4 kids, you guys. I have 2 boys and 2 girls. And I keep them kids straight as an arrow. And I'm on top of my game with that shit. Because while I'm breathing on this fucking earth, I don't care how old they are, you're going to do shit correct. Because I didn't teach you none of that shit. And if my kids need help, I get them the help. They need guidance, I give them the guidance. But I do my best. Bro, she was trying to take out all 3, right? But she wounded up. Yes! She ended up surviving. She ended up surviving. That's God's way of saying, no, girl. You're going to stay right here. Because you're going to face the consequences, girl. That's true, but was his parents talking to him? Effing electronics is what ruining kids. Absolutely, I agree, Anonymous. Anonymous says that electronics, social media, and all this shit is all fucking up this generation of kids. Truth. That's truth right there. And Anonymous also says and asks, were the parents talking to him? We don't know. We will never know. Because, yes, I have come across parents, and I always clarify this, that gave their children a great upbringing, gave them consequences, did the right thing as parents, and their kids turn out to do what they want to do and turn out to be bad seeds with good parents. I've seen that shit too. Day 4 pictures of Karmelo holding guns on Instagram. Yes, I saw those pictures, Toxic. I definitely saw those pictures. The pictures of so Toxic is saying that there's pictures of Karmelo holding guns on Instagram. You telling me the parents didn't come across that? That's insanity to me. Crazy to me. You know damn well they came across those pictures. Now, according to testimony from officers and evidence shown to jurors, the backpack, Karmelo's backpack, contained snacks including Cheez-Its, a phone charging cable, pens, car keys, a comb or hair pick, Aquaphor ointment, word search or puzzle papers, a vocabulary assignment, a cross necklace, an Ozark Trail hand warmer, and the folding knife prosecutors identified as the weapon used in the stabbing. Witnesses testified that during the confrontation, Anthony repeatedly kept his hand inside the backpack. You guys, listen to this. Witnesses say that during this confrontation between Austin and Karmelo Anthony, Anthony repeatedly kept his hand in his backpack while allegedly saying phrases like, "touch me and see what happens." Several students said they thought he was bluffing about having something inside the bag. Because you know some kids, they just want to bluff in front of their friends, you know? Or in front of people. But people in Texas love their guns. Oh, yes. Hello, American woman. Don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys. Don't forget to like my channel and subscribe. Thank you for coming across my page. See, it's important to talk to your children. If there's no communication, there's where the problems begin. Absolutely. Anonymous, look at the Mackenzie Sharilla case. These people were enablers. The parents are fucking batshit crazy. Both of you, fucking Steven and fucking, what's her name? Natalie, batshit crazy. You don't see those jail phone calls? Enabling that child even in the prison cells. Communication is key with children. Just listening tonight, you know how I feel about parental control. Absolutely. Is there justice? I love this woman right here. I call her point blank, period. She says what the fuck she says and she stands on it. She don't like that business of children doing what the fuck they want to do and behaving the way they do. I like her. Henrik, how are you? And anybody trying to defend him? I don't know. I didn't see, nobody was trying to even defend him either. Like, it was crazy to me. You know what? That's a good point, Hendrik. You know why that's a good point? Because there was a boy under that tent that invited him there, shook his hand to Karmelo Anthony. And there was a confrontation going on. Nobody interceded. Nobody got in the mix on his defense either. That's a great point. See, we can all talk about this and kind of see certain things that we didn't see during that trial and during, you know, all this chaos that's going on social media platforms and everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? I have a 17-year-old son. It would kill me if something happened to him. Absolutely, American woman. I agree. I have an almost 21-year-old son. I have a son that's going to be 19. I have a daughter that's 16. And I have a daughter that's going to be 15. If anything happened to my kids like this, that's crazy. And I don't feel like people should feel comfortable getting mad over somebody getting consequences for killing another kid, bro. Because if somebody killed my kid like that, I'm going to make sure I'm going to stand 10 toes down and make sure they get not the light sentence, the toughest sentence ever. For real, bro. All these people protesting on behalf of Karmelo because of race, because it's not about the skin color. They're not getting it. There was so much evidence against him. No, it's not that they're assuming. They're making it about race and color. But they're not putting themselves in the shoes of these parents that lost their child. And in the horrific way, too. Like, stabbed in the heart. How much anger, like, I question myself here, too. How much anger, how much animosity are you carrying? How much hatred are you carrying to be able to stab somebody right in the heart? Insanity. All these kids, man, this generation of kids are out here killing each other, beating on each other, stabbing each other, shooting each other. That's crazy to me. That shows you a problem when no one defends you. Absolutely. Nobody interceded. Nobody intervened. Crazy. That's crazy to me. And now everybody thinks he's bluffing because he's putting his hand in the bag. You know how many kids I've seen do that? Even adults. Bluffing. They say they got something in the bag. They just bluffing. They're just fucking around. Just saying that because they want to kind of put fear in you so you can back the fuck up or something, or kind of put fear in you and make you scared or whatever. So maybe that could be a reason. Maybe these other kids thought he was bluffing. But still, even if though they thought he was bluffing, why wouldn't somebody stop and intercede and say, wait a minute, he already pushed them. This is going to get out of hand. But they also say that it escalated so fast they didn't expect it to be like that. what type of mental illness Carmelo has, or maybe he's a psychopath. I don't know, American woman. Kingdom Reacts talks about how the money was spent. Oh my God. I'm going to have to check that out. Is that on YouTube making changes, or is on Facebook? Where is that? Where can I find that? Kid, if and Anonymous said that they're doing an investigation. There's an open investigation on how the family of Carmelo Anthony spent his defense funds on. Because there's rumors stating that they bought houses and cars and lavish things. Like, that's insanity to me. Benefiting, and it's sick, benefiting off the death of one child and the incarceration of the other. That wouldn't even run through my mind. I wouldn't even give a fuck about that money. I'd be just in true disbelief of what just fucking occurred. I'd be hurt that my child's gonna sit in a fucking jail cell for fucking so long. I'd be a fucking mess. Yes, due to his actions, but still, it's my kid. I'm gonna love him regardless, but he did wrong. You know what I'm saying, you guys? This is insanity to me. Like, and everybody's making it about race. There's an uproar. I'm just so fucking over it. I'm so fucking over people using the fucking race card. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm Hispanic. I have color on my skin. Yes, there's racists out there. Racists out there. But not everything is because of race. Stop pulling the race card for everything. You guys, I'm going to give you an example. I had an issue with a neighbor that lived under me since the moment I moved in. That was back in February of 2019. She was always giving me shit. My kids couldn't walk, nothing. She was always knocking on my door, talking shit to me that it's too loud upstairs, and it wasn't really loud. My kids would be sitting there. She would complain. I couldn't even vacuum. She'd complain. Mind you, she's African American, and her children too. Her kids were mixed. They were like half Hispanic, half African American, and she's African American. And I got tired. Like, I was ready to fucking lose my shit. It was always a fucking problem. Ready to fucking square up. A few times we squared up out there. Like, you don't even know. And I remember I got tired. Like, I'm like, dude, I'm going to have to use the justice system and try to get like a fucking harassment, or so this fucking lady can leave me and my fucking family alone. You guys, can you believe that this woman pulled the race card? I've never, ever in my life have ever called somebody of color a monkey. Never. And I would never. My grandmother, my mother's mother, may she rest in peace, was dark. I would never. And she said that I call her the N-word. She immediately pulled the race card. You know why she pulled the race card, you guys? The judge that was sitting up there was black, African American. And I looked over in such disgust and disbelief, you guys. I was in disbelief. I was like, I would never. I said, are you kidding me? Puerto Ricans comes from the Tainos, which is the Native Americans, and we have African Americans within our fucking DNA, bro. I would never. She used the race card. So this is how I know people will use that shit just to get by. People will pull that shit right out as soon as it's convenient for them. I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit at all. What you mean? YouTube. I'm gonna look that up. Kids love the beef. Absolutely. I agree. I raised my son, and I'm a single father in the military. And my son is yes, sir, no, sir. And when I'm home, we always talk. He knows what I have to do overseas, and I don't hide nothing from him. That's great. You're open with your kids. It's good to be open with your kids and be honest, bro, because they'll learn to be honest with you and open with you, you know? So, and I commend you for being a single dad and taking care of your kid. Salute out to you, sir. Because it takes a real man to do some shit like that. A lot of hard work and dedication. It's hard for a man to raise kids. And it's hard for a woman to raise kids on her own, too. I commend you for that. So I know what you mean, 1982. It's just right versus wrong to me. Absolutely, toxic plays. It's right versus wrong. There's no color in it. Okay? I'm Irish, Viking, and I'm not racist. I wasn't raised that way. Absolutely. Why we gotta be out here be like so racist and shit? And trust me, it exists. I'm a Hispanic living in a town where they're all mostly white. And trust me, my kids have come across a few racists. At some point, they were calling my kids beaners. Beaners are Mexicans because they eat beans or whatever. Like, what? Or they would call my kids the N-word. Really? You're calling my kids that? Like, trust me, we had our fair share of... Listen, not too long ago, I shared with you guys an interaction that I have never in my life had in my life, okay? I told you about the guy that told me that he said he was going to call ICE on me. And I was in such fucking disbelief and disgust that all hell broke loose that day. You guys can go look at my channel. I have it there. I posted it. All hell broke loose that day. Even a physical altercation broke out over that shit. Don't be fucking racist. Need to deal with that shit. We've dealt with that shit. Trust me, we've come across it. But not everything is about race. It's what wrong is wrong and what's right is right. Thank you for your service. Absolutely. Thank you for your service. I forgot to thank you for that. Anonymous, I'm Irish. As a black man, I will apologize on her behalf. It's cool, Toxic. Listen, I'm the type of person, I don't... Like, if somebody that's African American does something to me that's fucked up, I don't group all the African Americans together. Just because one African American is fucked up to me doesn't mean that they're all like that. Because I have friends that are African Americans. And I have friends that are Africans from Africa. Like, I love it. I have friends that are Asian. I have friends from all countries, bro. Like Indian and stuff like that. Like, yes. Have friends, like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't group you guys all together. I don't do that shit. If you treat me with respect, I treat you with respect. I have plenty of friends that are American, white, Caucasian. I have one of the best neighbors that I had here, white. They moved out. They came by yesterday to come see me. I love them. And he comes from Irish background, and she does too. And I love them. And I love their kids. So they're great. So I don't ever group you guys together. If somebody's fucked up to me, I don't group them all together. Because it's not your fault that somebody's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And I would expect to people to do the same thing to me. If a Hispanic is fucked up to a black person, to an Asian person, to an American person, please don't group me with those people. I don't condone that shit. I don't applaud that shit either. No thanks needed. It's my pleasure. Oh, Anonymous, I hope you found my email. I want you to email me. Kids are mean. Absolutely. Kids are fucking awful. Oh my goodness. Motherfuckers don't know that Puerto Rico is technically part of the USA in 2026. Absolutely. They don't get it. They don't. They told me that they were going to call fucking ICE on me. I was like, what the fuck? You know what? Let me tell you guys something. I was fucking caught off guard. I was just like, what? Like, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And that was the first time ever that I ever dealt with somebody like upfront racist like that. Like, you know, there's some subliminal shade or subliminal racism going on. Like, some people don't want to be next to you or shit like that. See, that's different. But like upfront and so personal and close like that, I was like, damn, that's some fucked up shit. I was like, I've never experienced that shit in my life. I was like, this is the first time for everything, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Miss Auntie Jerry, USA. I live in an almost all-white town in the middle of nowhere, so I don't see many other people, and I'm kind of a hermit. Oh, that's cool. It's cool. Listen, you guys are gonna come across all colors and shades and everything. If the person's respectful to you and they treat you good, and there's loyalty there, just live and let live and love people. Be kind to people. Doesn't matter what their color is. You know what I'm saying? I have friends of every race. Absolutely, Anonymous. I'm guessing because you're in the military. Absolutely, you come across all colors and races in the military, and you've gone to other countries and stuff like that. Absolutely, and you embrace other people's cultures. I love when people embrace my culture. I have a friend. Her name is Laura, and she's Caucasian. She's white. I love Laura, and let me tell you, Laura is living in Puerto Rico. She's been out there for 5 years. And she embraces my culture. I have so much respect for that woman. I love her. She's embracing the culture out there. And I love embracing other people's cultures too. I love that. I love it. I love embracing it, understanding it, learning about it. I love that. That's my thing. And I love welcoming other peoples into my circle that are from different races and different colors. And I don't care. I don't see none of that. I see the person. You get what I'm saying, you guys? I have friends. My neighborhood perfectly diverse. My neighbors are white, Mexican, black, and Asian too. Okay, so here in the town I live, mostly American, some Asians, some Indians, but mostly American, Caucasian. Um, Respect me, I'll give you the world. You cross me, I'm not the one. Absolutely, anonymous. I'm clock that T, anonymous. I love that. Anonymous says, respect me, I'll give you the world. You cross me, I'm not the one. Absolutely, you got you all fucked up all the way around. Fuck around and find out moment, right? Replay crew. Can we keep it real, you guys? Let's welcome Can We Keep It Real? That's the gentleman that's talking about the Eddie O'Brien case, you guys. I want y'all to all go subscribe over to the Can We Keep It Real podcast on YouTube. That's my boy Mikey right there. He's talking about the Eddie O'Brien case. You guys were here listening up on that when I was talking about it too. Subscribe to his channel. Turn on your notifications. Mikey is awesome. He's breaking it down. He's reading the book that I told you guys to look into, and he's breaking it all down, all the paperwork, everything that has to do with Eddie O'Brien. You guys got to go check it out. We love Mikey over here. He's a Can We Keep It Real podcast on YouTube, you guys. Subscribe, turn on your notification, go check him out. What's good, Mikey? We're talking about the Karmelo case. And from the Karmelo case, we started talking about Eddie O'Brien. We started talking about Mackenzie, because we're talking about the controversy that's happening, that they're basing in a race as to why this kid was sentenced to 35 years. Well, no. All video evidence and everything clearly shows, and all testimony, that he's guilty. And he has to face consequences. And people are making it about race. So people are basically preferring that he walk free because he's black and he's not getting a fair trial. Everybody's biased. No. Clear as day, the evidence against him. He's the guy you was telling me about. Yep. So Mikey from Can We Keep It Real, he's talking about the Eddie O'Brien case. He's talking about it on his podcast. He stabbed the person. Absolutely. Look, Can We Keep It Real is agreeing. He stabbed the person. Why are these people making it about race? I'm tired of people using the race card. And I gave you guys examples. I come across that shit. The time I went to court, the girl was like, this is a black judge. I'm an African-American girl. I'm going to say she called me the N-word. And I'm going to say she called me a monkey. And I was looking over in disbelief. I was fucking ready to puke. I was like, no. She just, people be out here pulling the race card. No. You got to deal with your consequences, bro. The Ricans here and Dominicans here are all different about race and identity. All different about race and identity. Yeah. There's differences in all races and cultures. But that doesn't mean we can't love one another. Because trust me, trust and believe. We see that racism amongst Dominicans and Puerto Ricans. They go at each other all the time too. Which I don't fucking understand it. And we just all humans. We all bleed red. Doesn't matter what country you came from. Doesn't matter what color you are. We all human beings. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what it says here. Okay, I'll go sub him. Absolutely anonymous. Go subscribe to him. In the heart. In the heart. Yeah, in the heart. American woman. Yeah, you got to go subscribe to Can We Keep It Real podcast. He has a great podcast going on. You guys are going to learn so much about the Eddie O'Brien case. It's going to be great. He brings guests on and stuff, and they talk about it. Meaning people that knew Eddie O'Brien growing up. We had Gina Mahoney, which was his neighbor. And he's had the O'Briens, which is Eddie's parents, on there. And Jojo, Joseph Burho, which loves Eddie. So you guys, check it out. You'll be interested. You guys are gonna be glued to this because that trial, God permits it, will be starting to happen. We're gonna get the ball rolling for Eddie O'Brien. We're gonna free Eddie O'Brien. Don't dare. Don't dare what? Can we keep it real? Now, court testimony to the Karmelo case, right? Described the knife as a folding multi-tool style knife, right? About a 3.5-inch blade. An Ozark Trail brand knife sold at Walmart. So you can purchase this in Walmart, okay, you guys? Oh yeah, he's saying. So Can We Keep It Real says, don't you dare call a Dominican a Puerto Rican, and vice versa. There's a lot of them that go against each other for that. I don't fucking get it. We all Hispanic, Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. We should all love each other and embrace each other's culture. I don't fucking get that shit. I will never comprehend it. People should just love each other. Fuck what race you're from, whatever. Let's just all love each other and live happy, right? Live and let live. That's the way I see it. Ooh, they shaved that boy Karmelo bald. Oh yeah, I know. So Karmelo had the dreads and now he has no hair. I saw that too. And found partially open in the stadium bleachers after the stabbing. They found that pocket knife partially open at the stadium bleachers after the stabbing. Okay, so how much more, you guys, how much more evidence do people want? And they're going to keep on pointing the finger at that there was no black jurors, that, you know, this was a biased investigation and a biased trial. And it's always going to be something. It's always going to be about the race card. It's insanity to me. I just don't agree with this controversy that's going on online and that I'm watching on TV and everything else. That's just crazy to me. Most of the demonstrations connected to the Karmelo Anthony case have centered around claims, listen to this, claims of racial bias in the trial. You guys, these people are not smart because the defense and the prosecution agreed to the jurors they picked. Right? And it's centered around the all non-black jury, that they were all white. The disagreement over the self-defense claim. That's the controversy. And broader debates about race and justice in the U.S. Those are the controversies that are happening online. And people that come across my page and seeing what I'm talking about may agree with me, some may not. Some may find it offensive what I'm talking about and what I'm saying. But it's truth, bro. There was too much evidence against Karmelo. And maybe he'll sit there in that jail cell and think about his actions and understand what he did was wrong. That wasn't necessary. And be remorseful that he took that child's life away. You know what I'm saying? Over a shove, over argument, petty shit. And then when he comes out at some point, I hope he's rehabilitated and he starts doing right for his life. Because we don't wish him bad. You know what I'm saying? Blame his lawyer and not having no black jurors. That's what I'm saying. Can we keep it real? Like, his lawyer and the prosecution agreed to those jurors. So I'm not going to... When they go to the appeal, what are they going to fucking say different? There was no black jurors? A judge is going to tell them, well, you both agreed on these jurors that were picked for the trial. What else are they going to say? What defense are they going to have for the appeal? There were 3 but wouldn't convict a young black male. They felt biased, so they were released by prosecutor. Oh my God. That's insanity to me. Yep. That's what I heard too. There was some jurors that were black, African American, and they were making it about race. So they said they were going to be biased because it's a black kid and they're black. So that's why they dismissed them, you guys. Let's keep it real. Like Can We Keep It Real says. And his family's a lot to blame of all of this. They didn't play it codes right. Yes. His family, like, I mean, this kid had pictures all over social media with handguns and guns and everything. And Can We Keep It Real? You missed it, but they raised, Karmelo Anthony's defense fund raised over $600,000. And according to what is being heard, his parents, while this kid is sitting in a jail cell, is taking this money. They took some of this money and were buying lavish cars and houses and shit. I don't know how true that is, but supposedly they're under an investigation over that. That's fraud. You're defrauding the public and benefiting off the death of one and the incarceration of the other. Sick. He won't win an appeal. He already admitted to doing the crime. Absolutely anonymous. Thank you. All they need, all the prosecution needs is him admitting. And there was body cameras, and he admitted that he did it on the body camera. Admission. That's all it took. Body cam footage, video surveillance, plus the testimonies of everybody on both sides. That's what got him sentenced. There was too much evidence against him. $750,000, that's the correct amount. Jesus. Anonymous says it was $750,000 that was raised for his defense fund. Who remembers when rappers when donating hella money to Karmelo? Well, yeah, that's another thing, Toxic. Like, there's a lot of celebrities and a lot of people that are pissed off about him getting sentenced. Well, first of all, these celebrities have no clue. Like, their kids are not out here getting stabbed. There's a family grieving. They're not taking that into account. They just take into account that he was a black kid that was sentenced for his actions. And they think that everybody's biased and the race card is being pulled. NBA young boy give him like $250,000. That's fucking insanity to me. Giving $250,000 to a kid that committed a crime and murdered somebody. From day one, parents was counting pockets. That's crazy to me, bro. And Anonymous says that they're going to do an investigation. They're under investigation. And I hope that goes public. Because the Metcalf family have gotten a lot of scrutiny for wanting justice for their child that's no longer here. And I think that Karmelo Anthony's family should get scrutinized too publicly. If you ask me, if they were defrauding people and using money for lavish lifestyle. I'm sorry. Your boy is just trying to understand the mindset of a juvenile. LOL. Yes, can we keep it real? Absolutely. I look a whole damn mess today, you guys. My hair's a fucking damn mess. You guys will never see me looking like a whole mess like this. I'm just looking a whole damn mess. He told the police he did it, and that's on body cam. Absolutely, that's what I was saying. He said he admitted to that shit. And he asked in the cruiser, will the guy he stabbed be okay so I do not see him winning any appeals? Yeah. Guess he found himself regretting after he did it in the moment, because in reality, some people regret it because they're going to do time in jail and they're in trouble. They're going to face consequences. But some people regret it because they're really remorseful. They didn't think straight in the moment. You know? So, but we don't know. We're not in Karmelo's head. We don't know, how he felt or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He told the police. Mackenzie got the possibility of parole in 2037. Oh my God. Mackenzie has me fucking tight. That fucking girl. She took and you know what got me tight the most, you guys? Not only did she commit that fucking murder, because that was murder. You murdered your boyfriend and the best friend. But you continue your fucking ridiculous, obnoxious, entitled, crazy ass psychopath behavior in jail while sitting in a cell. You're still behaving the same way. It has taught her nothing. No remorse, no nothing. And her family's fucking batshit crazy. The mother and the dad. They're just fucking not there. They just fucked up upstairs. That's why that child turned out to be the way she is. She will never be rehabilitated in prison at the rate she is going. Absolutely. You guys, Vinnie Politan from Court TV, he went over all the infractions that Mackenzie has had since she's been in jail. There's a lot. She's gotten into trouble so many times. And let me tell you something. The parole, when you go in front of parole, they take it into account. They don't give a fuck if it happened at the beginning when you got in there, in the middle, at the very, very beginning. They don't care. They take everything into account. And that girl has gotten into trouble the whole time while she's been in there. And I think that the judge that took care of the Mackenzie Sharilla case is totally right. I don't think Mackenzie is going to be outside prison walls. And I think she's going to be sitting in jail for life. No type of remorse. I don't think there's going to be a parole board that's going to grant this girl parole. I don't think so at all. Metcalf dad was kicked from press conference. Oh my God. That's crazy. Can we keep it real? Kids need to wake up and stop taking everything for granted. None of us are promised tomorrow, and you're lucky you woke up today. Absolutely, Anonymous. I totally fucking agree. Tomorrow's not promised. These kids take their life for granted, and this is why this generation is all fucked up. You know? And it's up to us as parents to guide these fucking kids too. Like, we're not their friends, we're their parents. And we need to learn to set these fucking boundaries with our fucking kids so they can be better people in life. Although there are kids that you can be a wonderful parent, they still turn out to be shitty. So, I mean, there's a few of those. 4 dudes I went to school with went to prison for murder. Look at that. Toxic says that 4 dudes he went to school with are in prison right now for murder. That's crazy. Eddie was sentenced on the laws that are unconstitutional today. Free Eddie. Absolutely. Free Eddie O'Brien, man. Free Eddie O'Brien. I can't wait for that trial to start because, dudes, we all going to be talking about it. Can't we keep it real? I'm going to be talking about it here. I'm going to be going to the trials. This is going to be dope. Dope. I'm going to enjoy that shit. Because I know Eddie is going to railroad them the way they railroaded him 31 years ago. Exactly. One of them with a policeman, he killed a 15-year-old and left her body in the forest. Oh my God. One of them was a policeman and he killed a 15-year-old girl and left her body in the forest. Toxic, I've never asked you, where do you reside? Like, what state? What state? Where do you live? That's crazy. I gotta look that up. That's crazy work, bro. Killed a 15-year-old girl, Toxic says, and he was a policeman and threw her in the forest. Yes, free Eddie O'Brien. It was on the first 48 and all. Oh my God. And what are you effing serious? At Toxic, that's fucking insanity. Georgia. That happened in Georgia. That's crazy work to me. Being a police officer, killing a 15-year-old girl and throwing her in the woods somewhere. Like she wasn't shit. That's crazy. I gotta look that up, that episode, Toxic. I don't know what. I love watching the first 48. I be watching that shit. I gotta check that out. If you know what the episode's called, so I can look it up on YouTube, that'd be great. And yes, Miss Auntie Jerry, free Eddie O'Brien. We love Eddie. I love Eddie. He became my friend. That's my friend. He was a policeman too. They found his gun by her body. Oh my God. He was a policeman too. They found his gun by her body. Ooh, that's scary. That's crazy work, bro. Can be trusting no motherfuckers, not even cops, bro. You don't see the mess that's happening in Massachusetts, all the craziness? That should tell you. But yeah, you guys, the recent protests about the Karmelo case and rallies have mainly happened outside the Collin County Courthouse in McKinney after the guilty verdict and 35-year sentence was announced and handed down. And the reports describe, listen to this, because I know Anonymous made this point earlier. Supporters of Anthony holding signs and chanting that the trial was unfair. About the physical altercations you were talking about. Remember, Anonymous? At least one physical altercation outside the courthouse that reportedly led to an arrest. But Anonymous says there was 3 arrests. A heated confrontations between both groups, meaning Karmelo's group and the people that were protesting for Metcalf's group. And counter-protests supporting Austin Metcalf's family and the guilty verdict. Many protesters focused on the exclusion of black jurors from the final panel, which that's not going to stand in appeals because defense agreed to it. Sorry. You had your chance, defense. You had your chance. That's crazy. That is fucking crazy. Not going to say what he did to her. She was 15, he was 22, and she was Mexican. My dog was black. Oh my God. Nuts. Yeah, I remember. That's insanity. That's crazy work. I gotta look that up, bro. In Georgia. The defense failed racial bias challenge during juror selection. The defense failed the racial bias challenge during the jury selection. That's what a judge is gonna say. You guys chose this fucking jurors. What can I do? Right? And arguments that the Anthony acted in self-defense after being pushed. This is what the protesters are focusing on. Okay? And the case has also fueled large online activism campaigns, social media debates. Yo, I see people arguing all the fucking time. All the fucking time. Live stream discussions like we're having now. And fundraising campaigns for both families. We just spoke about that now. And what's happening to some of the funds, if it's true. And public commentary from celebrities and politicians. I spoke to you guys on that. Cardi B and all these people talking about it. Yeah, I remember. Auntie Jerry come on show this weekend. Auntie Jerry, you should go on the Can We Keep It Real show. We would love that. Yeah, it got nationwide attention. Oh, shit. I got to check that out. Toxic Plays. Gameplay. I definitely got to check it out. Some supporters have organized Justice for Karmelo rallies, prayer vigils, and demonstrations criticizing what they see as unequal treatment in the justice system. Now, I'm going to ask my viewers again. How was that unequal justice or unequal treatment for Karmelo? How was that? How can people sit out here and claim this when there was so much evidence against him and video evidence? You guys, there's a video evidence. You can't say nothing against that, bro. Yeah, I got nationwide. Self-defense don't apply in this case. Absolutely. See, if the kid would have pulled out a weapon and he did that, then that's different. Or if he felt in fear, there was many people against him. But nobody claimed that. None of the witnesses on the defense side or on the fucking prosecution side. It wasn't unequal. Absolutely. It wasn't. It wasn't. They keep on saying and they're criticizing that. It wasn't. There was too much evidence against him. People are expecting, because of the color of his skin, because blacks and African Americans have been treated unfairly for many, many years. I get it. But like, people wanted this kid to go free after he did that. What if he did that to your kid? It's crazy, bro. What if he continues on a murder spree when he gets out? Killing other people. People are not taking this into account. That's crazy work. Crazy thoughts, too. Is it crazy that I think that if they just fought each other, things would have been way different? Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you, and it's not crazy at all. I think that if they would have just fought it out, duked it out, old school style, duked it out, Austin would be sitting at home, living his life. Karmelo Anthony would have been with his family, living at home, living his life. Point blank, period. It would have been done. They're teenagers. Every teenager gets into fights. How many teenagers get into fights? As a teenager, I got into fights. You know what I'm saying? Took it out. Would have been way different. I agree, Toxic. It would have been a way different turnout. And families wouldn't be grieving the death of one and then the incarceration of the other. And then maybe we would have not had these rallies and all this craziness going on in all these debates. Texas self-defense law requires reasonable fear of death or serious bodily injury. Yep. And Texas, I said this earlier, can we keep it real? Texas considers a 17-year-old an adult already. They consider them an adult. And at the same time, supporters of Austin Metcalf have held memorial gatherings and public calls for accountability, arguing the evidence showed murder rather than self-defense. And they're right. I'm sorry to say, you guys, I respect all my African American people. I love y'all. But for real, the evidence showed that it was murder. It was intentional. It was never self-defense. Self-defense is Karmelo Anthony, after getting shoved, punching the kid in the face. That's self-defense. It's crazy. The jury decided his fear wasn't reasonable. Texas self-defense laws requires. Yep. This don't just affect the kids. It affects their families. Absolutely. Every decision you make doesn't affect you. It affects all. Absolutely. It affects the whole family. Because now this family has to grieve their child that won't be back. And the other one has to fucking suck up that their child is in a fucking prison cell. Wasting years away of their life, you guys. Wasting years. That's crazy work, you guys. People need to stop pulling the race card. There was too much evidence against them. And I love my African American people, my black peoples. I love y'all. But like, let's keep it 100. Let's keep it a buck. We can't continue going on through life claiming everything is about race and racism. We can't keep on pulling that race card. We can't keep on using that to our defense when everything goes wrong for us or something goes wrong with somebody or something. We can't keep on claiming that unless it's really racism or really racist behavior. But that card cannot be pulled out for everything. There was clear evidence on this kid, you guys. I hate to say it, but now his life is on the line. He is 19, going to a state prison in Texas. Oh yeah, definitely. That's sad. I don't even want to think about that. I didn't even think about that. Anonymous says, I hate to say it, but now his life is on the line. He is 19, going to a state prison in Texas. Yes. God knows what people have planned in there. You know, you don't know what people plan on doing to this poor kid. You know, you don't know what CEOs want to do to this kid. You don't know what mindset people have. He's right. The race card is stupid. And that's everyone of every race that uses it. Absolutely toxic. Yo, everybody uses that shit. I've heard Hispanics use that shit. I've heard even my Puerto Rican people. It's because I'm Puerto Rican. They're treating me like this. Blah, blah, blah. No. It's because you fucked up. You were speeding and you got the ticket. Point blank, period. It's not because you're Puerto Rican. That's it. His parole will be in the hands of the victim, not the parole board. Absolutely. Let's be honest. If it was a black child killing another black child, we wouldn't be talking about it. Absolutely is there justice. I agree. It's their justice says, let's be honest. If it was a black child killing another black child, would we be even discussing this right now? Or if it was a black child, a white child that killed a black child, they'd be singing a different tune on, is there justice? Truth. It's truth. I agree with that. And this is People. They wrote this on themselves. People magazine wrote this article, and they said that the jury that was selected for trial, which begins Thursday, June 4th, does not include any black jurors. It began June 4th. Not one black juror says. Anthony is black while Metcalf was white. Again, the media is fucking this shit up too. They keep on making it about race too. They keep on pushing that agenda. They need to cut it out too. The media needs to keep it together. Because the more they keep on fucking pushing this race stuff, the more there's going to be problems and controversy. And people are going to keep on using that race stuff. I have a race card, but it's for Sunday's NASCAR race. Oh my God. I'm telling you. I'm so tired of it. Listen, I've listened to that race card so many times in my life. I'm like, bro, can you just fucking shut it? Shut the fuck up. I don't want to fucking hear it. See, when I really see racism go on, like, that's different. That's a whole different ballgame. That shit pisses me off. But not everything is about race. And I'm being honest, you know, like, I don't want people to be mad at me, African Americans and people that come across my page and be mad at me because of what I'm saying. I'm just being truthful and honest. And maybe I can open up eyes to people out here that are still thinking like that. And make them kind of see it from these other parents' perspective. Like, what if it was their child that got stabbed? Or to get them to open up their eyes that there was so much evidence against Karmelo and there was video evidence. You know what I'm saying? Now, if there was no video evidence, not all this evidence, and witnesses were saying that Karmelo was doing self-defense and then they sentenced him to 35 years for murder, then I would kind of question the biased behavior based on race, right? I would kind of question it. But there was too much evidence against him. Auntie Jerry, good night, my love. Much love. I have a race card. That's what the media wants. Absolutely. The media makes money. All they give a fuck is gossip. They give a fuck about getting views, people to come see what they're talking about, and that's it. It's all about views for the media, you guys. All about views. Okay? But yeah, this has been a wonderful conversation, you guys. And I talk about topics like this, the cases and stuff like that, and I also talk about life, like things in life, like marriages. I talk about, things we come across. Like the other day, I was talking about you never know what another person carries. Learn to be kind to others. I spoke about that. We talk about all different things. This channel is not about certain specific things. We talk about everything. We want to talk about a trial today, we'll talk about a trial. We want to throw a rant on here, I'll throw a rant on here. If we want to talk about, like, mental health, we'll talk about mental health. We'll talk about everything, you guys. I appreciate everybody being here with me on this channel and supporting my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys. And it's been a wonderful evening. I never thought I'd get into this conversation so late in the night like this, you guys. It's been great talking to every single one of you guys. But yeah, you guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys here again. Turn on your notifications so you know when I'm live next. I've been randomly just popping up, you guys. I'll have impromptus and stuff like that. It was nice talking to y'all tonight. I am your host, the Unforgettable. Thank you for being here with me in the Unfiltered Corner. I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening. And if it's daylight wherever you at, I hope you have a wonderful day, you guys. Much love to you guys and peace.
Welcome to the Unfiltered Corner. Pull up a chair, leave the mask at the door. We talk about the things they hide. Real talk, real life, nothing brushed aside. It's the unforgettable, yeah. Remember the name, oh yeah. We talk about topics, we say what we think. No games, we keep it real and raw. Let the truth come through. Judgment free zone, this space is for you. Come get comfortable, relax, get loose. Kick off your day, shake off that blues. Welcome to the Unfiltered Corner. It's true. The Unforgettables here. And we're riding with you. The Unforgettables here. And we're riding with you.
You guys, thank you for being here. Anonymous, don't forget to email me. I hope to get an email from you. You guys have a good night. Peace and much love to you guys. God bless.